Hello and welcome to the Carbitrage Podcast, episode 308. I'm Eric Burkert, joined as always by my co-host Ryan Sinensky. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Hi.
I was going to ask how your week was, but I mean, for us, it's still
My
the same
week
week. So
it's still been great.
it's still a
Here we
Commodore.
go. Here's an extra tidbit. Those people I bought the computers from that I told you about last week, I forgot to tell you that also they're Mercedes enthusiasts. They have a R107 SL and a W123. Or not 123. 128. 420 SEL.
That's a 126.
126. Yeah, sorry, my bad.
That's all good.
126. I don't think about those as much as I used to.
That's okay.
Yeah, they're too expensive now. But anyway, yeah, they had a 126. I told them they'd never heard of Intermark, and I told them all about it, and they're very, very excited.
Well, we'll see them at the show.
Yes,
next year.
we absolutely will. I'll introduce you to them. They're the nicest people in the world. You will love
I'm shocked
them.
that they've never heard of Intermark. Yeah. They advertise so well.
I know, right? Shocking.
And clearly.
Clearly and well, and like to their peer.
Tremendous and thick sarcasm.
So now we know it's not just millennials that aren't getting their ads; it's also their peers. Like nobody's getting their ads.
I was gonna say even the core demographic.
Yeah, their core demographic has no idea who the hell they are. Like they're doing a terrible job.
Intermark, please let us help you.
Yeah, like
oh my god.
Anyway, so I'm drinking a Hams again.
And I've actually got. I think it's a premium.
Yeah, it's a premium.
It's a premium. And before we dig into this week's episode, which is going to be a little bit different on the formatting, I briefly want to mention our Patreon page, patreon.com/Carbitrage. On this super cool handcrafted website I put together on the Patreon ecosystem, you'll find 3 open-ended levels of support starting at just $1 a month. Just helps us pay for hosting costs and beer. So if you want to help, awesome. If not, no biggie.
Yes.
Patreon.com/Carbitrage.
Anyway, this is the Bear Bull Market List.
Bull Bear.
I do have a story here, but I'm going to throw that at the end in case we have time for it.
Okay.
Because I'd rather that we concentrate on what our Bear/Bull Market List is. So we do this every single year at the beginning of the year. And this year, now that we're naming our episodes, it'll be a lot easier to find.
It indeed will be. I've heard nothing but good things about us having started naming it, so we're going to keep right on doing it.
Yes, because it makes you remember what you're listening to. It's a lot better than a number. Like, the numbers worked for, like, the first, 100, 200 episodes, but now we're in 308.
It is kind of amazing how many episodes we've done, frankly.
So,
you start talking. I'm just going to
it's okay. So the Bear Bull Market List, this is something I've kind of taken from Haggerty. I taxed it from them, but they don't have a copyright on that because that's just... You cannot copyright what the name of a bear market is or a bull market. That's just what the market's called.
I'm sure they've tried.
Well, they can't because it is literally just a list. And if they really wanted to, I guess I would rename it. Anyway.
Wow, that's ruined my day.
But anyway, so a bear market is like a market where things are slowing down. It's a macroeconomic term.
Yep.
Bull market is when things are in high swings. Like bull market was like... Here's an example. Bear market is what Bitcoin has been until recently.
Mm-hmm.
A bull market is what Bitcoin was when everybody was making a lot of money in 2021.
Or like the .com bubble or the housing
or
thing. And
just
before
like what you have when things are going up and you see nothing but green lights. That's a bullish market. Yep, that's a bullish market. People are in buying mood. Bear is people are in a selling mood.
I like to use the fear and greed index.
Yes.
If you're greedy, it's a bull market. If you're fearful, it's a bear market.
Yep, that's a very good way to describe it. So every year we pick 3 cars that we are bullish on. We pick 3 cars that we're bearish on, and then 1 that we are holding on.
Yep.
Just because otherwise we could go on for days about cars we're holding on.
Well, and this is getting to be a progressively harder thing to answer, too. Because, I'm sure you're the same way. Where I'm trying to avoid stuff we've already talked about before.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of these products which are probably still going to be kind of in the same spot as they were last year. So.
Well, actually what's interesting is I noticed that last year I distinctly remember talking about Jags. And I was right about Jags. I've historically been right about Jags because they're great cars and wildly undervalued. And then I think I did bullish on 50s cars, I believe.
Yeah, but not mainstream.
Yeah, like
cars.
Weird 50s cars are the ones you want to buy because that's going to be good value for money. I was bearish on buying good 50s cars, like big fin Mopars, is a terrible time to buy them because they're insanely expensive right now. and that was holding on muscle cars, if I'm not mistaken.
I am actually just scrolling back in the list right here.
Did you find it again?
Episode 279.
Yep. There we
was
go.
our Bull Bear list. We didn't name the episode publicly, but it is named in the notes. Let's see here. This is, best new cars. So this is the Modis then.
So right before that.
I can read through that when we're not
No,
in
that's
the middle
fine.
of this kind of stuff. But
Let's do, I will do my 3 cars, and then you'll do your 3 cars.
So I've got all those pre-queued up
Perfect.
in the tabs here.
So my first one that I'm extremely bullish on are first generation, the SR1 Viper, which is the 92 through 95.
Those the zippy-uppy window ones?
Yes, the ones that are extremely bare bones. Because after 95, they were still visually extremely similar. Yeah. But, like, they became more of a normal car.
I do remember, like, learning about this pretty recently, that the first and second gen were technically 2 different cars.
Yes.
Even though, like,
Yeah. So the first gen, the SR1, the SR2, they were 2 different cars, even though they looked identical almost, like to the untrained eye. Like if you saw one, you go, yeah, it's a '90s Viper versus like the 2000s, the 3rd gen Viper.
Even the ones with real windows, I'm like, oh, it's a first gen Viper. Like,
yeah,
well, it's not.
Kind of 1st gen Viper. Kinda. Sure, why not? These are the ones that have zip up windows. They have a Reliant K cassette radio. They have like odometer white gauges and no locking doors for the 1992 model year.
Yep.
Literally the most bare bones car that you could possibly get.
It's a body with a V10 and a manual.
In some exhaust pipes that burn your legs.
Correct.
It's like very, very. Actually, the BAT blurb here says the OG Viper is responsible for more leg burns than any car in recent memory. Yes, that's true.
Yep. Oh my God. What? Pre-internet, obviously, but yeah, we were all aware of this from the Car Magazine reports of like the big like blistered thighs that are pussed out and everything.
But if you scroll down and look at this graph here, you'll see that they're all kind of in the same spot. There's some really insane ones that are up high, but they're all kind of like in this like $40,000 range. But if you look, there's not really anything at the bottom of that range. That's consistently going up there. And if you were to take the high bid and exclude everything over, say, $80,000, no, you click high bid right there, and then less than 100. Just give it a second while it loads, and you'll see a lot more clear rising on that graph since 2019. And I think that that's going to continue because these are extremely cool cars and they're extremely cheap.
They are. Yeah. I saw one at a dealership not long ago. I'm like, there's no way that price is right.
Yeah, like there's no way that a Toyota Supra is a $100,000 car and a Dodge Viper is a $40,000 car. Like the world is upside down.
I mean, they're not good, but like they're reliable. Like they're fine.
Well, the thing is like a car does not need to be good to be fun. Like this is a ostensibly bad car. This is a supercar. Like this is what a supercar should be. It's just like suicide machine. It is hilarious.
Yeah. Short wheelbase.
But if you look at these prices, like look at that RT10, it was $28,000.
That's ridiculous.
Sold for $28,000. Every single one's been crashed for the most part.
Oh yeah, and a lot of them are twin turboed and been butchered for that.
Or supercharged.
Yep.
But like that's fine. Like you're gonna still have a really hilarious car to own.
A 495 mile sold for $71,000.
That is criminally cheap.
That is a travesty. And that supercharged one was $31,000. And it's SSR comps. Like I bet that's a well built car.
Probably if you scroll down, there's more examples that are down there. And there's like I love this black with the gold with 38. Like Jesus. Yeah, I cannot imagine not having this. Like this would be a great car to just drive to work. Yep. Like, that would be hilarious. I would love to commute in that.
Oh, God.
It'd be so dumb. But, like, the coolest thing in the world is, like, oh, yeah, here comes Brian. And he's your giant Viper, and you're blasting bubbles. And like, it's just so cool.
That shows what the rest of the car is worth. An engine.
Hulk Hogan had one.
$16,000. Unbelievable.
Hulk Hogan had one.
Oh, then I'd have to cut my facial hair back into the Hulk.
So if you Control T, go Hulk Hogan Dodge Viper. It is hilarious.
I got a lot of tabs open here. I don't know. If
how about this tab?
All right. Hulk.
You're typing into the URL. There you go. Hulk Hogan Viper.
Oh God! Of course, it's ketchup and
It's
mustard.
ketchup and mustard. And it says Hulkster in the center.
Oh.
Notice the yellow wheels.
Oh. The yellow centers of the wheels.
Oh no, they're yellow spokes
with chrome.
With the actual center cap red.
Look at the panel fitment.
It's so bad. It says
so
Hulkster.
terrible.
Yeah, but it's stupid. It's a stupid car. Like, this is a stupid, hilarious car. Like, anything that Hulk Hogan owned in his prime, I'm like, yeah, that's what I would like to own. Like, that is very cool.
Please tell me it's like embroidered on the dash with like some of his other sayings.
I have no idea. It just says brother.
This seat's for my brother.
Anyway, my number 2 is like a completely different vehicle.
It is indeed.
This
does not have a V10 at all.
No, not at all. It's K Trucks. And we were talking about last episode. Also, it looks like my audio is clipping here.
That's fine.
Okay, that's fine.
Yep. It always has done that.
Okay, cool.
This is the only one we have to care about here.
Okay, cool. So that one does not clip.
Correct.
Yeah, so Honda Actis, Subaru Sandbars, Daihatsu Hi-Jets, Suzuki Everys, all of those trucks, Piaggio Apes even.
You can't forget the Ape.
Yeah. I think all of those are going to go up in value. It's not going to be all of them. It's going to be the good trim level ones. Because if you look at particularly this Acti graph, you scroll down.
This one's a street.
Yes. So
oh my God.
You'll see how
Why
some
is there
of them,
a huge gap?
Well, that's the thing is like these huge differences are like if you just hover over the most expensive one, it'll show you what it is, and you'll see that it's modified, and like that's a lot more usable. And if you scroll down to like the second one here, it's
another pickup,
but that one comes with other motorcycles. So scroll down to the third one right there, and then so it's a fire truck, but it's got crawler tracks on it.
Amazing.
There are so many different variants of these. And for a long time, they all sold for the price of the shitty one.
Which is $10,000 or less, it looks like.
Yeah. Like every single bad one is like $5,000. But like now, like people are getting into it and they're like, oh shit, this is an Acti Street 5-speed. Like this is an Acti Street 5-speed 4-wheel drive. There's a pickup 4-wheel drive. There's pickups with tilting beds, with air conditioner. Like the base model on these trucks have a monophonic AM only radio and just a driver's sun visor.
Delicious.
Just a driver's sun visor.
That's all you need.
There's a hole for the passenger sun visor that's not closed. There's no cap on the end of it. There's just a hole. But there's just a driver's sun visor on the base models.
One step beyond the blank buttons of the American cars.
No, there's literally just a hole where the blank button would be. Yeah, so like when you get a stripper model, you get a stripper model. So there's a reason that the stripper model, like even though it might have like 20,000 miles on it, is still a $5,000 vehicle. But like there's a reason like that green 91 Acti 4x4, like that's $16,000.
They're the same year. They're both Honda Acti pickups. One is $6,000, the other one's $16,000.
So let's look at the $16,000 one, and you're gonna see that like it's lightly modified, but like that's not a $10,000 difference in mods. That's a paint job.
No, I think it's just because this one's four-wheel drive.
It's four-wheel drive, Momo steering wheel. But the thing is, like, this is a lot more livable of one, and it actually looks very nice. So that's what you're getting. You still have the inline 3 that's mounted ahead of the rear axle. But then, like, so the Acti is interesting because, like, they didn't have as many mechanical changes. Like, the Suzuki Every is the one, and the Suzuki Carry is the one where you have a huge delta in different versions, but there's no change in price as much. Like, really. Like, because, like I said, like, in the last episode, the base model Every had, 30 horsepower or something.
Right, a third.
Yeah.
Of the top trim.
The top trim, you literally had the exact same engine as AutoZam AZ1. Like you had a twin cam, fuel injected inline 3 with a turbo, and that would go into your K van. And so it made 69 horsepower. But as soon as you
definitely better than a 6-valve NA.
Yeah, and as soon as you uncork that 69 horsepower engine at all, you're at 100 horsepower immediately on a vehicle that weighs less than 1,500 pounds and can carry.
Do not cut this wire, for the love of God.
Yeah, and so like these trucks, people are finding out like, oh my God, these are actually like there's cool versions that aren't just stripper models. Like you can get like the Mitsubishi minicab, you can get panoramic glass sunroofs on it. You can get rear climate control. Like there's all sorts of like wild things that you can get in these K vans. Because like the thing is, like people are like, oh, they're just work trucks. Like some are, yes, But that same truck was also sold to people that lived in inner city Tokyo. And if you're buying a parking spot in inner city Tokyo, you have money to spend to be comfortable. So you're going to get the comfort version.
Yeah.
That's got like heated seats and rear climate control for your kids and panoramic sunroofs and a parking pole and like a rear clearance mirror.
And air conditioning.
Yeah, things like that. Like very interesting things. Or like a Nakamichi like cassette radio.
Yeah,
like
we're chooching.
insane things. Like that's a great acty street with the high roof and the graphics and the side steps. Like there's lots of cool versions of K-Trucks.
Just looks so modern for 96 too.
Yeah, so I think the high trim level K-Trucks are going to start seeing more action in 2024. Another car that is going to, this is my last pick, is going to be the X308 Jaguar XJRs.
Okay.
These are insanely good for
the,
how little they cost.
Oh,
The supercharged, but there's a supercharged 4 liters. But if you look at their values for the most part, these shouldn't be this cheap for the most part. Like there's some that are getting up there. But they're like
4,400 miles for that one.
17,000 miles.
So they're all
18,000.
really low mileage
But also,
cars.
if you looked at that top one, there's the
That's an earlier
XJR
one,
one.
isn't
No,
it?
it's the XJR 100.
Oh.
So that was a 1 year only
later one.
limited edition version with BBS wheels.
Oh, sure.
Brembo brakes.
Like this one?
Yeah. So that's a 1 year only model.
Cool.
But these are way
they both are.
yeah,
Jeez.
they are way more good than people are giving them credit for. And I've been tooting this car's horn for a long time. Everybody I know that's like looking for a cool car to buy and like aren't totally allergic to automatics, like that's the only thing that people don't like about it. But even with the auto, this is still an incredibly good vehicle because it's effectively a luxury muscle car.
Do the 4.0 still have the chain issues? So you just have
To a
to
lesser
deal with
degree.
that once?
To a lesser degree.
Okay.
They will have to have the timing chains done, but at the same time, like the E46 needs rod bearings.
Mm-hmm.
So, like both cars have a cursed engine problem.
Right.
But you do it once and it's done.
Yep. Or once every 90K.
Yes, and so this one is one and done. It also has the CATS computer active technology
Oh my God.
suspension.
A great name for a
Yes.
silly thing.
But the CATS is actually retuned on the XJR versus the normal XJ. You also have the giant exhaust pipes in the back, the huge BBS Montreal wheels. You have Brembo brake calipers, sport-tuned CATS suspension, heated rear seats.
Meow.
Yeah. Heated and power adjustable front seats, automatic climate control, Alpine sound system with a 6-disc CD changer, 370 horsepower, 387 pound-feet of torque, no limited slip differential, which I think is
It's a
hilarious.
luxury car, so I get
Yes,
it.
but
And the
there's
special edition, though, man.
but I mean, like, well, the thing was, well, traction control take care of it. But I also think that that's hilarious because that keeps all the fuckboys from ruining them. Because they literally cannot be made into drift cars easily. Well, they can. You just have to get some Mustang parts to make them into drift cars.
I'm
But
gonna say that one loser that drives around an XJ.
yes,
with the
and he
white
does
wheels.
and he does the one wheel wonder because his car doesn't have a limited slip, and he doesn't know. I'm convinced he does not know how to weld that. Or install a different one. I'm pretty sure his mom wouldn't give him enough money to install a different one.
That's probably true. He spent all of his money on the 1552 wheels.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, these are just really good cars. Like, they are insanely good. And I think everybody should consider, if you are going to be buying a car in this price range, like, this is a good buy.
Last year, you had the XK8 and XKR in your picks.
Yes, I did. It was the XKs. And XKs have gone up. I don't think you've got... Well, actually, here, let's take a look at the XKs. We'll do that. Let's do the XKR. It's just, if you just scroll up, all the way up and go there, you just type in XKR. It'll literally bring it up right there. Because there's only one. So scroll down.
All right, so we got, 22 into 23?
And if you saw it, yeah, it did. You had a lot more that's sold. And then you see that their values are kind of a bit higher than 23.
Yeah, all the R&Ms are lower value cars, it looks like.
Yep, and then so here, yeah, there's a lot of like kind of like shittier models that sold, it appears. So let's try the XK8. Let's take a look at that. So the XK was a little light. However, I bet, actually scroll down for a second. Scroll down a little bit more. I just want to see when the model, type in, so go and do a limit for the year.
If you go here, year range to 2006.
Is that when they changed the body style?
Yep, that was a body style change.
Okay.
There we go. So now you started seeing the first gen XKR did go up at the beginning of the year a lot. Look at that one.
Some of these are still so cheap. Oh, Project. Yuck. Okay.
Yeah,
Nope.
bring down that value. But if you want to exclude Project, scroll up and then click that little arrow, exclude, and then type in the word Project. Enter.
We're making tremendous radio here.
I know, right? There we go. That took care of it.
Perfect.
So, yeah, it does look like they're still very,
let's look
very,
at
very
XK.
cheap. Like, that's still an extremely good buy.
All right.
So it looks like that one was flat.
These are, honestly, not that much different value-wise than the XKR. So.
They are flat. So I still think that these are great buys.
No, I'm not disputing it. I was just saying,
Yeah.
I was looking down here.
I'm just surprised that that didn't go up any much higher. The
Not
XKR did go up a bit. It wasn't huge, but it was also a year where
I think the transacted ones definitely did.
Yeah, well, also it was a year where we were kind of in a recession. We were in a not actual recession.
Well, people certainly didn't seem to have money.
Yeah, so that was not a time to be spending more money on cars.
Correct.
So I think breaking even was probably good for a 20-year-old British vehicle. Anybody buying a 20-year-old British vehicle in 2023.
Let's be real. That's going to be a pretty specific person.
Yeah, so there's a kind of person that bought that in 2023.
Correct.
But I'll admit that the XKR went up slightly. The XK8 was totally flat. But I think that this is going to be the year for the XJR. Because I think that people are going to start seeing these. I've seen a couple of YouTube videos about people saying, why are these so cheap? Which are not catered to me either, because they're on clean YouTube accounts that don't have my old cookies and stuff on them. So,
oh Jesus!
These are actual
could be tied to your public IP,
maybe. But yeah, so I think XKR. What are your choices?
My first one, and I'm curious to look at my results here from last year too. Maybe we'll cover it at the end. But my first one is the E82 128i.
That's a very good car.
Specifically the 6-speed, because they are cheap still, they're ruthlessly reliable, and you cannot get an E30 driving experience outside of an E30 or one of those.
Yeah.
I
think
so good.
I don't care about 2 Series because this at one point existed.
Yep.
That's literally why I've never, ever in my life cared about the 2 Series.
Mm-hmm. That's just like the 1M versus the M2. The M2 is a great car, but they made the 1M. So.
Yeah, why would I buy that?
Right. They already did it better.
Here's a worse version of the car that's cheaper.
Right, like a 2 Series.
Worse, more expensive model.
But it got slightly lighter. I'm like, yeah, well, you also put in the timing chain shredding monster 4-cylinder turbo, whereas this has the port injected straight 6 from the gods.
Which is going to make a much better noise.
And it doesn't break ever.
Yeah.
Because an engine for that car is like $300, because they never break.
Perfect. Yeah. Why would you not?
What if you want a good driving experience and you have less than $10,000 to spend, and you want something you could potentially drive year round?
Oh, they're that cheap.
They're less than $10,000.
Wow. Yeah. No, that is the buy.
Yep.
That is absolutely the buy.
So 128i 6-speed. And then I grouped these together just because I'm broken, but the W114, 115 and the W123. So I'm talking the Mercedes-Benz E-Class from 68 to 70.
In the tractor. In the tractor. The 123 farm implement.
Correct. I mean, they're largely the same platform underneath, but the mid-size Mercedes sedan from 68 to 85.
I think you're unfortunately right, because they're bulletproof, reliable. They're very good. The 123 is
and they're criminally cheap.
You know what? I'm going to bet on that 123 because that is the proto hipster car. That's a prototypical hipster car of our generation. Every single hipster that wore
the 123 is our bus.
The beanie on the back of the head with the skinny jeans and the $50,000 very expensive IPA.
Yep.
The 2010s hipster era, that is their car.
Yep.
And Gen Z makes fun of hipsters like that big time, which is fine. Because good, I don't want people to be that's exactly what you should do to people like that. Because I put myself into this category. We don't want you to be into what we're into.
Right.
Like, the whole thing is we were into our thing and we were fine with you not being into that. And it's probably better for you to not be into it.
Which is why we were a little quiet about it.
However, I think the W115 is a much better looking version of that car. And I think that that's going to make it be worth more money.
The early ones, definitely. And Euro headlights, definitely. So I picked an early one with Euro headlights.
Yes, and it looks incredible.
It's like a late...
Also, you can get column shift on that one.
You can?
Yeah,
manual and auto.
Yes, I drove Darren's manual column shift diesel. It was extremely slow, but very good. It was I love manual column shifters. That's where a shifter should be, is on the column.
Yeah, I bought a parts car once. It was a 200D, so pretty early. Probably the same as Darren's.
Yeah, this is blue.
Yep. That's a great car. I love how much he
blue,
drives it.
It's very sweaty. Yeah.
But yeah, the OM 617 and the 616 and 615 are, like you said, they're bomb proof. And man, imagine buying a 45-year-old car that you could daily still and not have any issues with it.
Yeah, no, it's exactly what it is.
That's why they're good.
They're hideously reliable. I think even the 123 for being a farm implement is still extremely reliable. I just think that what you're getting with the 123 for the price is not worth it. But everybody in the world seems to disagree with me on that.
You can still get a 123 for cheap. Not like 115 cheap, but cheap.
But that's the thing, is like a 115 is like just a better vehicle. Like, it's cheaper and it's better looking, and they both drive like tractors. So mine's will get the better tractor.
And this one had like charismatic firsts for powertrains. Yes. Like it had the twin cam 628 in the last model year. You could get the 5-cylinder diesel non-turbo in it for a year. But yeah, they're great. I mean, we have a 115, so I'm probably a little bit biased, but that's my pick number 2. And then the third one is the...
shockingly, these are all vehicles you own or have owned.
Yeah. But
mine, I've never owned any of mine.
But
on purpose. But
well, I've owned a lot more cars.
Yeah.
So I mean, there are other things. I was just thinking in my head through the marks and all this other stuff. I'm like, sure, but I see these now, and I'm like, I don't really understand why they haven't pumped more.
W30 MR2s is what you're talking about. So I don't think we said the name yet.
Correct.
But ZZW30 MR2s, the third generation MR2, the Spider, the convertible, is such a good fucking car.
Yeah. Like getting that driving experience for even double what these things are transacting for is not possible.
That is it is a perfect vehicle. I don't get why people pretend to not like this.
Oh, it's trying to be a Porsche.
I don't like convertibles because I'm a millennial and I'm wrong about everything. It's like, no, dude, that's a great car. And it is a convertible. So you can just take the top off and it's just as good being a convertible. It was designed to be a convertible.
Exactly. And that shows through and through on this car.
Because it
is the best heater ever conceived by mankind.
Yes. No, we were able to drive that through a snowstorm with the top down with the heat on. Because that heater was designed for a Corolla. And it works great.
The blower motor, I don't know what they put in there, but it is strong.
Yeah. No, it will also not loud.
Correct. Yeah.
No, it will blow your face off, but not be deafening loud. Like the Fiat on like a level 2 is as loud as the ZZW30 on like full crank.
And manual climate, good.
It's such a good
car. The control weights are phenomenal. The balance is great. The brakes are tremendous. The electric power steering is somehow good.
They got the MR2 right with that, because as much as I love the AW11, the W11 had just the snap oversteer. Like, people are not lying about that. Like, you cannot drive that car at its limit.
Same with the second gen.
Because the first gen, like, when you get to that limit, like, if you are really familiar with the car, you will feel it about to snap oversteer. But basically, as soon as that car tips at about, what is that, 15 degrees? As soon as it tips 15 degrees, it picks up that back right wheel, or the inside
that pendulum, huh?
That inside wheel, and then you go spinning. And you are not correcting that. There is no correcting that. You can't power out of it. Like, it's way too short of a wheelbase. Because the thing is, the car, when you're going around a corner, will kind of drift a little bit naturally, just going around a corner.
Yeah, it scrubs a little bit.
Yeah, it scrubs a little bit. But by the time that you've lost traction, you are past like kind of that 45-degree mark,
and you've already let off the throttle.
You're already fully on steering lock. Like, you can't like steer into it. You can't power out of it. You're already wide open. Like, you're kind of along for the ride.
The biggest mistake is lifting mid-corner in a mid-engine car, and they tried to solve it with like staggered tire fitment in the second and third gen.
Oh, the first gen they tried to fix it. Throughout the generation, every year has a different sway bar.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like an S2000.
Some years they didn't have sway bars. Some years they had one in the front. Sometimes they had it in the back. Sometimes they had like a big one in the back and a small one in the front. We were never able to get it figured out. But the ZZW30, like from the start, was just great.
Yeah.
Like from the first year to the last year, every single one was just primo driving experience. Even if you got the cursed flappy paddle automatic.
Oh, the SMT.
My mom almost bought an SMT, and she didn't, and I'm still mad at her. But that is such a good car.
SMTs are like $5,000 cheaper, and you can swap them.
Yes, I would actually recommend buying the SMT.
Yeah, all the manual parts are shared with every other Toyota.
Yes,
So
you can just go find any broken Corolla GTS.
And there will be a Spider Chat forum post
or
from
Celica GTS
15 years ago that's going to have all the information.
Yeah, they're very easy to swap. And if you're not that bothered...
yeah, I mean, you could just keep driving the SMT until it breaks, too, and then do it. But
yeah, you're really fine. Like, it's totally okay. And, like, the only thing that's weird about the SMT is it's got the tiny little shifter. It's, like, buried.
On the up and down buttons on the steering wheel, too,
yeah,
which are
those
on the
are
front
dumb,
side.
but, like...
It's a little weird.
But, yeah, like, I would honestly get the SMT because it's cheaper. And it makes no difference to the overall driving experience.
If you can get a better conditioned, lower mile car in a color, and that's really what I'm noticing on these, is if you get one in a color, they're worth more now.
Yes, because
Like
you can't find a
color.
color.
The black ones are like, bah.
Yeah,
but like they sold them in a really nice blue.
But the thing is,
green.
you could also get a silver high mileage SMT and decent nick and get a lot better of a car than you could getting, say, like a yellow manual, like low mileage car.
Yep.
With the Toyota TRD body kit.
Or like a dark
Also,
green on
TRD
brown.
parts were available for these.
And a lot of them had the TRD Stage 1 body kit and
And it
spoiler
looked
and all that stuff.
Perfect.
It was quite
Chef's
good.
kiss.
Just
Great
make
car.
sure you got the pre-cats or you put a header on it. That's it.
Yeah, no, that's actually a thing. So we should talk about that because that's actually what held back the value for this relative to the SW20 and the AW11 is the ZZW30 had that pre-cap that would delaminate and send chunks of ceramic back into your through your exhaust port into your cylinders and would roach the engine, which is possibly the most cursed problem I've ever heard of. Also,
it's pretty bad.
Fixing the problem makes the car not drivable in California.
People were able to pass emissions in California.
Yes. Well, you can't just like go hammer it out and then go pass emissions. You have to hammer it out, replace the pre-cat with a different cat, and then...
No, the primary cat was good enough.
Really? No way. So you could just do it.
Yeah, people go beat the piss out of it around the block before you go in for emissions. But yeah, the primary cat was fine even in California.
That's fucking great.
But you did have to gut the factory manifold so it looked like there were pre-cats still. You couldn't run the Chi header, which is what I did. It's just easier.
Oh, we're in Minnesota. Nobody cares.
No. And again, the primary cat is big. Like, it was fine. It just didn't heat up fast enough.
Yeah, so you just need to make sure it was a little bit... You had to make sure it was at temperature. Yeah, you're fine. So what a great car. What a great deal. And yeah.
If I didn't own the 124, I would own another one of those.
I honestly think you should buy one because even though the 124 serves the same purpose, it's not the same car.
If I got a great deal on one, if a deal came up and I'm like, well, that's too good to pass up, I'd buy it.
Because there are days where you want to drive something that's like the Ferrari that's not the 124 because the 124 is a very different experience than your Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say you want to go drive your Ferrari, but it's weather's not the best. You might have to take it into town, have to park it somewhere, something like that, where something might come up. If you have the Ferrari, but you have to go run some errands, that's what your ZZW30 would be for you.
Yeah, but the Fiat's good at that too.
It's not as good as the Ferrari, though. It's a different driving experience.
Well, that's true. I have the Z8 too.
You're again a different driving experience. Your Z8 is also talk about a car that demands even more attention than your Ferrari is the Z8.
Yeah, but nobody knows what it is, which is great.
Yeah, but you're gonna have one fucking neckbeard that ruins your fucking afternoon. But
that's why I don't like driving interesting cars.
The ZZW30, like you could just take that wherever the fuck you want. It's not gonna get stolen. It's not gonna
get. And ladies do love the ZZW30.
Yeah, and it sounds great. It sounds like it's a much better driving experience than the 124. Because the 124 is very much a Miata experience. The ZZW30, even though it competed with the Miata, is pretty much a 355 driving experience.
It's much sharper, yeah.
Yeah, it is a lot sharper to drive. Like, it is way sharper as any right to be. It is super light.
And I agree with you on that. Like, it does not make sense. Like, the parts that they had access to build this thing, it shouldn't be as good as it is. But I think it all came down to the lightweight. They're 2,200 pounds.
No, I think that you really should make some space for it. Just like jigsaw some cars around, get one, because you're not gonna be able to get one in a few years.
No, and they're already coming up.
I know, and in a couple of years they're gonna be hideously expensive.
I know.
But like right now is about the time where like you could reasonably get one. It does have a different purpose than the 124.
I still have the trailer hitch for it too.
You do have a trailer hitch, so you could actually use it if you want something. Because like the 124 is like great. Is like I would like a commuter that's fun.
It is great. I love how much torque that thing has.
I would like a fun car that I can commute in. That's the difference. And those are two very different cars. Because a commuter that's fun is a 124. It's a Miata with a nicer interior. Mm-hmm. A fun car that you can commute is a Ferrari that you don't have to really worry about. And that's what a ZZW30 is. It's a Ferrari.
With the cat's gutted.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. It's a Ferrari you don't have to worry about. Yeah.
Because if you don't gut the cats, it's just a Ferrari.
I'm gonna keep harassing you to buy one of these until you do, because you really, really, really
All
should.
you have to do is find a deal that's objectively good enough where I can't say no, and then that's how shit happens.
Yep. So anyway, let's the next set here is going to be cars that we are bearish on. Like, cars just don't buy them right now. And for me, I picked weirdly a lot of these are cars that people like. But I've seen a lot of chatter from peers that either previously had them or are selling one or have a broken one or just
have a broken one really
previously looking for one that are no longer looking for them. The first car I'm going to say is E36, not M3 E36s.
Okay. So
just a normal
328, 323.
Normal E36s. The fuck are these this expensive for?
What?
Exclude everything over $100,000. High bid. Less than 100K.
Let's do less than 50. Screw that.
Yeah, we'll do less than 50. It's fine. Makes no difference. But why are these? Every single one of these should be below $20,000, and like it shouldn't.
That's an Alpina Touring.
But still, like
that a 325 ISM Technic. It's a rare car, but is it $25,000 good?
Well, even an Alpina Touring, you look at that car and then you tell me that there isn't another car that is much better than that. Like a race car,
a bastardized 318 race car,
and
just a regular.
That's
an M3.
That's M3. That should not be on there. So I'll actually go back and fix that when I get back to work on Monday. But like if you look at a lot of these, just go like some of these random cars that are here. Like it's a lot of Alpina stuff, but just like you throw Alpina on it, and then it's just suddenly worth like, yeah, but you get like an Alpina.
M3. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, sometimes get thrown in there for They used to get thrown in there for visibility for there's an E36 M3. Like there's a split, so they're still going through. And them out.
Sure. Okay, I got you.
But like a lot of these cars are just like.
Oh, the Jackie Treehorn Special. There we go.
Yeah, here we go. This is literally the Jackie Treehorn car. Like this is actually a pretty good deal. But like
somebody is spending
look at how many miles are
$7,000 for a 200,000 mile 325 IS. These things are made so terribly.
Yeah, and that's also a coupe for people that are not viewing on video. It's
correct. Yeah, IS is coupe on these. I should have probably mentioned that.
I don't get why these are so expensive.
I want to see the door panels.
Because like the thing is that the equivalent E46 is going to not weigh that much more.
No.
It's going to have God, it's awful looking.
They're on there, though, which is impressive. But, of course, the speaker grills are cracked.
There's a scratch right there. There's a tear there.
They put M3
that's cracked down there. That's
for an early coupe. It's amazing how nice.
Yeah, but you see that crack there and how it's delaminating. It's delaminating there. They're not ideal. And the thing is that you can just get an E46 and just have a much better vehicle.
Oh, dude, yeah. Get an early E46.
And it's not like an E46 looks bad.
No, they look just as...
Like
I prefer them, but I mean, I understand that's subjective.
Yeah, no, it's subjective. I am not that gung-ho about the E36. I like the E30. I like the E46. I like the round headlights in the E30. I never was excited about these when they were new. I like the TI. The TI I would still buy.
Interesting.
I would still buy the TI. Those are still a little bit more.
Z3.
Yeah, but like the TI is getting up there, but like they're still interesting enough where I go, you know what, that's worth buying.
And they're E30s underneath, which is why they're good.
Yes.
Same with the Z3.
And so, but like these, like 13,000 miles, because it's like a very cool shade of green is. I guess it's kind of. Would be the one I would buy. If there is one that I would buy, that's a E36.
Laguna Green, I think.
It's Laguna Green.
Yep.
Unpainted
Same color
bumpers.
as Brexit. And it's a 92, so it's the only year of the non-variable velvet
Limited
timing
slip
engine.
diff, 24,000 miles. This is the one I would buy. But like this is the level in which I would be like, yeah, like this would be, I would consider this like the best E36 in the world.
Yeah, that is so clean.
And that's like $13,000. Like people are buying normal ones that are just like red and a 2-door for like more than this. Like with 200,000 miles on them. Like get out of here. Like these cars are not worth what people are paying for them. I just think it's so wacky when you can save so much money and get an E46. I would never buy an E36 in 2024.
No, unless you're going to like the only use case for E36s is track car.
Yeah, like basically a track car, or if it's like some really wild like spec. But like again, there's a really wild spec of Dodge Journey I would buy probably.
No, is it the Fiat Fremont?
I don't know.
It's the Fiat Fremont,
maybe,
isn't it?
I don't know. I was just trying to think of something like there's probably a wild spec of every individual car in which I'll go, okay, yeah, that's worth buying.
It's the Fiat Fremont.
Yeah, and so like there's always like some silly version of a car that I'd buy. Yeah, but like 11.3 for a 318 IS 5-speed that's got over 50,000 miles on it. And
$10,000 for a convertible.
Yeah.
No.
Like, this 325 IS 5-speed silver, like with like M3 wheels.
I was gonna say they all have DS1s on them too.
Yeah,
the 95 M3 wheels.
They all have M3 wheels. I don't think there's a single 95 M3 with factory wheels.
Because there was no difference to the body, so everyone put the M3 crap on there.
Yeah. So it's just like I could not possibly be bothered to buy one in 2024.
Just buy an E46. They're just better. Or, hear me out, or buy a 128i.
Yeah.
Because it's the same price.
Literally cheaper, actually, than most of these.
And they drive so much better.
Yeah, 128i is that like perfect example of like why you should buy a 128i. Is like this is insane. Also, this is a 30-year-old car that did not age well.
It wasn't well put together in 1992.
And it's still not put together.
Correct.
Like you could just get a car just better in objectively every way. And
there's screws.
Yes.
And a lot of glue. Don't do it.
It's just not good. So
don't do it.
The next one is gonna be the A80 Supra. Who the fuck can afford these?
I don't know, but it isn't me.
Look at this. This is insane.
Okay, so for those that are in the video version, this line right here is the $100,000 line, the one that's 2/3 of the way down the list.
Like literally, I think like 1 in 3 cars are selling for over $100,000, and they're like, if you exclude 5-speed. No. Oh. Click exclude and type in 5-speed and then comma 6-speed. Uh-oh. You typed in 5-speed. Oh, then you clicked to enter.
Oh, sorry.
But and then exclude.
I'll do it again.
Well, actually just exclude 5-speed. 6 speeds are going to be insane regardless because those are JDM ones.
Okay. It's still showing here. Maybe it didn't refresh.
Control R. Just reset it and then try excluding for 5 speeds, because that's going to bring up just automatics and 6 speeds. It's the SC, so that one doesn't count. But if you look, these are almost all automatics, and they're still selling for over $100,000.
Oh God!
Like I get that like people will want a 6-speed, or will want like the best
Supra Turbo, $50,000.
Yeah, like it's just this one would be a modified RZ automatic. That's an automatic. Everything that doesn't say 6-speed in it is automatic.
This $83,000 for a 6-speed actually seems pretty reasonable.
It's also a sport roof.
Oh,
so that's
I gotcha.
Well, the sport roof is like that is it lowers the value and makes it better. But like if you're scrolling down here, it's like look at this yellow one. What did this one sell for? It's like $37,000 a bid to for like a not great JDM model that's like modified.
I was gonna say that looks like it's got a veil side kit.
Yeah, it's got like a terrible body kit. Another JDM one with a terrible body kit that's sold for $52,000. Like
why?
Just think of the other cars that you could purchase for that much money.
You know what you could buy for that?
Huh?
A used LC 500.
Yeah, like really?
Probably. I don't actually know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just say that would actually I'd buy, but
I bet you can for 50 to 60 grand. I bet you can.
You can probably get you could get into LC 500 territory.
I would think so.
But trust me, I love the A80 Supra. Like these are some of my favorite cars ever made. Like as stupid as they are incredible. But like Jesus Christ, like
70 grand for an auto.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just like they are so hideously overpriced. Like 133 for a 10,000 mile automatic.
Yikes.
Like it's still automatic, dude. Like it's still gonna suck to drive. Like you're not gonna go drag racing. The whole purpose of the automatic, buying the automatic is like you just admit that you're gonna drag race it.
Right.
Like that's all you're
I'm
gonna
just
do.
gonna put a turbo hydromatic 400 in it.
But like nobody's gonna, or even the A340E. There's aftermarket froze now, which is great for the Cressida if I ever were to keep the auto.
That's
but like
funny.
nobody's gonna take a 10,000 mile automatic Supra
No,
and
God,
take
no.
it drag racing. Like no, that is a car that's gonna sit in a collection.
Yep.
And
Because
so
it looks like a Supra.
yeah, like this one right here, it was just like a white one that's turbo automatic, 45,000 miles, $75,000. Like just insane values for these cars. They are not worth that.
No. I would so much rather have an NA 5-speed than a turbo.
And even
too.
an NA 5-speed is still stupid. Like, look at that. It's $40,000 for an NA 5-speed that's a modified.
Oh, they're all $40,000.
Yeah, like every single one, they start at 40. And for like for 200 horsepower in a heavy-ass car, like this, that will literally drive that if you...
Amazing.
If you did not have a contoured seat, if you
Yeah.
put in a normal car seat into it from like a Camry, and you blindfolded somebody and told them not to touch the interior shapes, like panels, like to feel the shape of how the interior was,
Yeah.
the actual driving experience of being in that car is going to feel like a brand new Camry. That's not a sport car like feeling. That is a car that you buy because you're going to go race it. You're going to modify and put a turbo on it, and that's a car that should be like $15,000.
You should have just bought the SC at that point.
It's $15,000 for your manual NA one, so you can put a turbo on it. Like that's how it's supposed to be. This is so stupid.
You're gonna get GET'd, bro.
Well, it's like it's literally like somebody's like taking a '69 Charger with a 318 and saying it's a 6-figure car because it looks like the General Lee. And it's like, yeah, but it also has the worst V8, and it's like
People do actually care about spec.
yeah,
at the
like
end of the
spec
day.
matters. Like there's a reason that your 97 50th anniversary edition 6-speed turbo is worth $139,000. There's a reason there's a $100,000 delta there, but like that $100,000 delta should be like $120,000 because those base models are just terrible. There's so many bad Supras.
Yeah, I think I have
selling
more
for
of an issue
stupid money.
with how much the NAs and the 5-speeds and the autos are going
And so
for
that's the
more
thing.
than I do like
It's
a
like-
really cherry 6-speed turbo.
Well, and that's the thing is a very cherry like iconic car makes sense.
Yeah, it does, but
it's the rest of them. Like not every Supra should be over $50,000. They should start at 20 for a
this
shitty
is
one.
just like the E36.
Yes, it's an E36 but more expensive.
We're like, oh, is that a Euro Evo M3? No, it's a 318 IS.
Yep.
Why are you asking 15 grand for it?
Yes, this should not be like this.
Stop it.
And then my last one for what I'm bullish on is Pro Mod muscle cars. This one I already filtered this list to get to Pro Mod cars, if I'm not mistaken. So if you scroll down to the bottom of this list, it should. No, it didn't have my filters on it.
Oh.
Let's see
Did it
here.
not? These all kind of look pro moddy.
Oh, I guess it does. Yeah, it does. Oh, yeah, I searched the word modified.
Okay.
It just didn't show up there. But so if you look at these Pro Mod cars, like they suck to drive. They are never well put together. And even if they are well put together, they're not worth what they're
being sold for? Like, also look at what their values are.
Yeah,
like
50 to 70 grand, 80 grand for a convertible.
Yeah, but so the thing is, like, these muscle cars that are pro modded out.
Yeah,
they're worse to drive. You took away all the charm that makes them cool.
Right, you took away the bad shit, which makes them endearing.
Yeah, but like, by adding the new stuff, the chassis does not account for that.
Right.
Like, cool, now you've made a Silverado.
Well, it's just like LS swapping. Great, you've turned your car into a Corvette.
Exactly, and it's just, if you see what a lot of these are, they say bid to.
Right. That's true, actually. I'm not seeing a lot of sold for.
Yeah, there's a lot of bid to happening here. And the reason is that their values are so subjective. Every single person thinks they have gold, and none of them are. Like, don't modify your car. And you're going to be better off for that if you have a muscle car.
Well,
like, or if you're going to modify it, do era correct mods. Because you see the ones that are selling.
Yeah, like this modified, this one here, that looks like it's got period mods, and it's sold.
Yeah, that one's sold. And if you look at, say, like that one, the 6-speed that bid to $92,000 and then sells, because like the seller thinks his car's worth more than that, and it's just like,
it's got C4 suspension,
LT1, or like this one that's sold, that's a 68 6-speed and comes with a Honda ATC 70 that's color matched, and like the modifications look kinda era correct. Like, that makes sense. Or like if you build like something that's like a funny car or something, like that would make sense. But like when you start getting to these pro mod things where you're putting like 20-inch wheels,
I was gonna say, when you see that profile of the back tire and it's got a 325 on it,
a 22-inch wheel, 325 rear tire, and then like gigantic Willwood brakes. Like the biggest red flag for me is Willwood brakes on a muscle car.
Not Bear brakes, huh?
Yeah, but it's a Willwood, because the Willwoods are the ones they can afford. The Bears are more expensive, which
I thought Bears were cheaper.
I think it's all the way around, because I see more Willwoods.
You know what? I have never bought either for a muscle
car.
I don't care. So I don't know.
I'm never ever going to. Like owning a car, it's like a quasi, like in that era. Like I would never ever put disc brakes on the Buick, because the Buick is designed to work just as well as disc brakes. And also, when you see cars that like the owner kills themselves in them, they always have disc brake swaps. Like that Mercury that like flew into the Dodge Journey.
Oh yeah, because they got the drag brakes on them.
Well, no, it wasn't even that. They had they did disc brake swap like 20 years ago. They didn't do any maintenance on it. The tires were 10 years old, and then the brake fluid had never been flushed, and brake fluid was full of water.
Nice. Oh, weird. Hygroscopic fluid full of water.
I know, right?
I don't know, Ryan.
Yeah, and then the brakes just totally failed because of that. And so it's just like, yeah, dealing with these cars is like, now you have to deal with this like weird set of parts. Nothing's gonna fit. All this work that was done to it like 15 years ago, and now everything is going to be broken, and you're not going to be able to easily replace the part. Like
where am I going to find some catalog parts from Summit Racing's 1994 season catalog?
Exactly. It's going to suck to like build. And like, even, all right, let's say, all right, cool, it has been taken care of, and you get the car, and you go, okay, cool, brakes work, it's got the LS in it. I'm now driving a C5 Corvette, which I could have purchased for a fraction of this price.
Right.
Like, the people that like the Camaro go, oh, that's cool. I wish it was stock. And the people that are that like Corvettes are like, well, that'd be cool in a Corvette.
Well, Corvette's cheaper though.
Yeah. Like, and then the people are gonna like this and be like, hey, dude, hey, do you like listening to Jason Aldean and Korn? Like.
Then we have a car for you.
Yeah, like it's not Korn, because Korn's actually good. Do you like listen to Jason Aldean and Skillet? Like, those are terrible bands. Like,
I can tell by your vehicle choice that you do. So,
I see that based off your vehicle choice that you are a bro. Do you own an Affliction shirt and you still wear it in 2024? Like, just the worst people.
And
it's very bro.
And to your point, they are making a car for themselves.
Yeah, and it's like, well, the thing is, like, which is fine. Like, I like making cars for myself. Like,
right.
I like
you understand that that's not going to be everyone's tastes and preferences.
Yeah, and it's also, I would not ever purchase a car that's made for somebody else.
Don't tend to do super aggressive hard mods.
And if I do, it's usually era correct stuff. Like at the Subaru, I made my Subaru kind of like Bo Suzuki style, but like Shakatan style. But
like I did that on a car that was supposed to be a Shakotan style era car.
Right.
Like,
I mean, it's not something that you necessarily came up with.
Yeah.
That only you like.
I'm
So
not
I
gonna
get it.
I'm not gonna put like a fiberglass body kit on the Buick. Like
Oh.
on the Civic maybe.
What if it? Okay, so hear me out. What if it was? God, what was that? Was it a NASA testing car? They used a nailhead. What am I thinking of?
Oh no, that wasn't a NASA testing car. That was an NASA testing car, but it was the Muroc Airfield
yeah.
Pontiac.
That one.
See, that's cool. That's aircraft modifications.
Well, like, what if that car had some like really unique fiberglass hood or something?
See, but again, that'd be for the error correct sort of thing, and would make sense. It's not putting 22-inch wheels onto a '69 Camaro, which is
Don't worry, that
cursed and
LT1
bad. And
tuned port injection, Ryan.
Camaros get the brunt of this, but make no mistake, there are Plymouth Satellites. There are Dodge, shortage of Dodge Challengers. Just Ford Mustangs. Ford Mustangs are almost as bad as these. There are every single muscle car gets it. Like I've seen Studebaker Larks with like 17-inch torque thrusts and Willwoods on them. Like, get that out of here. Nobody wants that. And also, the thing is that for at least with old Buicks, a set of aluminum front finned drums for a '61 Buick sells for about $800 to $1,000.
That's a lot of money.
A set of Willwood front discs is about $300 to $400.
Ah, so that's why everyone puts discs on them.
Yes, and the reason is that it will never ever work correctly because you have to rebuild the entire braking system
you
about
have
that.
to change the entire master cylinder and probably
Yes, you have to redo all of it. It's a massive amount of fucking around. You're not going to get any better braking performance because the front drums still were able to outbrake the rest of the car. You're still going to have enough suspension dive that you're going to have to account for.
Look at the tire you're working with too.
I mean, you also have a tire. So like, okay, so now you're going to put on 20-inch wheels that are like 20 by 9 so you can run your front Willwood discs.
Ooh.
And now you don't have a turn radius because you can't turn the steering wheel lock to lock anymore.
What's that clunking? Oh, I think it's the pitman arm scraping on the inside of the wheelbarrow. Oh,
yeah, it's literally that. Then. Yeah, like it's literally like that. Like it's the amount of shit that you have to deal with. Like make it a quote unquote better car. It's like, or you could just leave it that way because it worked fine before.
Right. Find a car that you like the idiosyncrasies of and just live with that.
Yes, that's the thing. Anyway, what are your cars? Because I'm very curious about yours.
Air-cooled, non-special model 911s. These all got dragged up with the Carrera RSS and the turbos.
Really, the air-cooled ones?
Yes, the 964s and the 993s. They I'm talking like a Carrera 4 with miles, with no maintenance history. They all got dragged up big time. By the valuable models, because people are like, oh, I want a Porsche. Well, I can't get that one. That one's too much. Well, this one looks the same.
I would like a Carrera 4 because I'd love that as a winter vehicle.
Well, just as a beater, yeah, I suppose. But I'm just saying, like, there are so many non-special models, and they all just got. There's just no reason why they should be transacting for that much. So I think those are overvalued.
I think any silver Porsche made after the year 1993.
Okay.
Should not be a penny more than $60,000, regardless of anything else. If you have a Porsche and it is silver, should be a firm cap at exactly $60,000 and 1 penny. The second you hit that penny, it's done. No more sale. Like
you're gonna have to repaint it.
Yeah, you can repaint it to any other color, but like, yeah.
Oh my god.
What's also interesting is there's no shortage of special models with these cars, and the normal ones. Like I totally get that. Like who the fuck is out here buying a stock red Carrera 4 like that?
This is an RZ 5-speed.
That's a cool one.
Well, I mean, no, this
being
is a
5-speed.
4.
But
I'm just saying, like
being a 5-speed.
Yeah,
like that would be okay, cool. But like being just like a regular Carrera.
Why is this car? That car's probably worth $75,000. Why? Why?
Yeah. What do you get?
You get the small engine and the parasitic 4-wheel drive, and it's like, oh, I'm buying the shape. Like, yeah, well, probably needs a full head-off engine service too. But
it's like buying a Ferrari 360
forever.
Because you just want a Ferrari. You get the worst possible
pretty much.
one.
I'm like, I'm just badge, click.
Yeah, 348. Cool. I only spent $200,000 on my 348.
And I'm not like hating on the 964s have their merits, but they're not.
This is my whole shtick about why I dislike Porsche is I do actually like Porsche. Like, Porsche makes a lot of cars that I really, really, really like, but not at all for the value and what people think about them.
Oh, it's an RTX 40 series.
It's literally the RTX 40 of cars. Yeah.
It's a good product at a horrific price.
Actually, no, a very good example of Porsche is Macintosh 2.
Okay.
Like
I'm going to need infill on that one. But.
The old brick Macintoshes from the 80s, in the 90s, those ones with the black and white screens, they are insanely expensive because they are the cool retro computer. When you think of a retro computer, you think of that. You don't think of the Commodore, which is actually the cool retro computer.
Well, and much more functional.
I'm just going to go on Facebook Marketplace and show you what Macintoshes sell for because...
I knew about the Color Classic and things like that being ruthlessly expensive, but I don't...
All of them.
Well, I mean, the black and white ones, though?
Black and white one in beat condition.
$140.
Yep. $550 for one that's yellow.
Dude, that looks like it has sat under a UV bulb for the last 30 years.
Macintoshes are the Porsches of the vintage computer world.
I'm out.
Yep. And so that's exactly what I think. It was like the person that owns this is also the person that's spending $500 for the world's worst Macintosh.
Yeah.
Like it's because
that's actually in the back right now.
Yeah, it's probably in the boot of the car.
Because the front seat's full of their RTX 4060 Ti.
Like, it's just so stupid. Like, and again, this is not me hating on Porsche, because I do hate on Porsche a lot. And the thing is, I hate on Porsche a lot because people are spending stupid amounts of money on cars like this.
Don't get me wrong. If I were buying a Porsche, it would be a 964 Carrera RS America. Those are worth the money.
If I were to buy one, I would probably get, regardless of trim, a 993 or a 964 in Ruby Stone Red.
I do love Ruby Stone.
With a matching color, with a color matched interior.
Oh yeah.
Because they had a Ruby Stone leather interior.
Oh, God, awful.
And
if like those M Roadsters, man.
If I could get that on a Carrera 4, I would get it on a Carrera 4 because that'd be even more dumb. But that's the thing. If you want me to spend $100,000 on a Carrera 4, Ruby Stone Red, matching interior, blue seatbelts.
Oh yeah, and honestly, same boat as the market because Ruby Stone cars go for insane money.
Because it's the best color in the world I've ever put on a car.
Ruby Stone is we agree.
It is objectively
Porsche,
the
you have made the best
vehicle.
color ever on a car, but oh god, talk about a decent product at a horrible price.
Yeah, but that's the thing is a Ruby Stone Red car. Also, if you're not familiar with Ruby Stone Red, you should have to Google this. This is a factory color that is
Barney the dinosaur metallic.
It's not metallic. It is
Isn't it?
No, it is a gloss purplish pink.
Amazing.
It is the best color in the world.
It is a marvelous mauve.
Somebody looked at that color and went, "Yeah, let's put this on an entire car," and they did.
Well, it was the early '90s where that sort of color palette was extremely popular.
But you could still get that individually spec'd throughout. Since that came out, you can still get all those colors.
If they ever get rid of the automatic transmission in the back of the Taycan Sport Turismo, I would be inclined to go to the Porsche custom order thing and pick Ruby Stone.
Yeah, you could totally just do that, and that's a great color. So, yeah, I totally get that. What's your next one?
Next one is the i8, the BMW i8.
Well, these are worth money.
They're like 65 plus grand now.
Why?
These dipped into the 40s for a while. I don't know.
That was a reasonable price.
It was. And they need to come back to that. They're too much right now. A pretty high mileage, sort of molested i8 is still worth 65 grand right now, which is too much. Because you're dealing with aging, very small capacity batteries. You're dealing with a Mini Cooper engine, which is going to need maintenance.
Yes.
And yeah, it looks nice, and they are great cars. They do drive really well, but the current price point is too high.
No, it's insane for what it is.
Too much money.
No, because you're dealing with quickly aging technology. It's an early adopter of the EV thing.
Mm-hmm.
No, what the fuck? It's a really bad engine.
Oh yeah, you're going to have to do guides in this.
Also, it looks like a Honda NSX.
And you could just buy a Honda NSX for that price.
Probably that money, yeah.
And have something that's significantly more reliable and the same driving dynamics.
But at $40,000,
yeah,
38 is that's when I first started looking at those. Like, that's not bad.
Yeah, 38 to 40 is like very reasonable. I would say like I would probably want to dip down to like 32 for one that's in like okay nick, and it'd be silver. It's not a color. So that's stupid. Yeah,
I don't know why.
Belongs there. Fuck that.
I don't know why, but
what's next?
They're overvalued, in my opinion. The 2CV.
What?
Hear me out. It is overpriced.
Yeah.
Also, the reason why I picked this and I put it on for this year, there are so many funky French cars that are now legal for import this and next year, where you are going to have direct competition in this country, people cross-shopping 2CVs, and when they can't afford these insanely blown-out prices, they're going to start ignoring the older French cars.
You know, another thing about 2CVs are very much so like Porsches. Wow, look at that. Yeah, no, it's definitely a Porsche effect here. Because 2CVs have variants that are worth money. Like early one, like that's an early one. Without the stupid paint job.
Well,
but like an early one, the earlier the better.
Yep.
If you were to get, say, like a Fargonette, which is like the van, we could see those being worth more.
I think
but
if you're like edition's worth quite a bit, and I don't know, but
if you're getting like an 82 2CV6 Charleston for $21,000, it's stupid.
It's just too much money for
or like a 2CV6 special. Like, nope, that's a $10,000. That should be no more than
are $13,000 cars. Okay.
Yes.
That's.
What the hell?
I just don't get it. Like every time I've looked at a 2CV, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll stretch up and just buy one. They're like $25,000 for a decent one. It's $25,000.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like there's some where it's like I get it, but like
yeah, and I'm not talking special editions. I'm talking I just want one that isn't rusted.
I'm seeing like a 2CV6 Club for like 18.
That's just too much.
All right, so here's one that's good, and this is worth the value. A 65 2CV.
That's an early one. So yeah.
Yep. For $22,000 and it's blue with the feather-shaped mud flaps. That's worth it.
Yeah.
But like 76 2CV4 in like bluish gray for 15.2? No. Like 89 2CV6 Charleston for 18? No.
I just don't understand it.
58 2CV in gray 20? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. A 58 for 20?
So 74 2CV4 orange on cream exterior 10.5 didn't hit reserve in 2021.
Whoa.
But like
21
yeah, that's 2021. But like see, that is a good buy. That car today would be like a $30,000 car.
100%. That's a great color combo.
Yeah.
But again, I am not saying anything bad about 2CVs, but like they have to compete with other French cars now.
Also, they have to deal with the other Citroens. Like what was they had the one with the square headlights. I think it's called the Dyna, and they also had the Ami.
Yes. So
there were
a bunch
so
of other
many variants
on that same platform. Yeah. And I love the Ami. Thing's adorable.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's called Citroen Dyna.
But
Diane.
Right now, I could buy like the world's nicest 205 GTI 1.9.
If you look up a Citroen Diane, like you could buy this, and then it's just a 2CV that's DY. Yeah, right there. It's a DYANE. It's the same car. It's like crossing that like a Renault 4 kind of thing, and it's just like
cheaper,
probably. But like, imagine buying a 2CV6 Charleston for more than that, which is better, like and more unique. Like, would you like weird French car? Because that's also a weird French car.
And I gotta pull up the
here. There's a Diane next to right there. A Diane next to
2CV.
Yeah.
Yep.
That they're like the same car, just like mildly updated.
Seriously. So, and they probably went out of production earlier than the 2CV.
They did actually, yes, because the 2CV was cheaper.
Ami.
Yeah, and Ami that's a new one. Original. There we go. Yeah, Ami 6. Yeah, that's an incredible vehicle.
I still love when James May did that road rally.
And that is cheaper than a 2CV these days.
I would have that.
Yes.
But again, there are so many other French cars that are just like, why would I not buy that instead? Like, I adore the 2CV.
Literally any French car exists.
I would have a 205 GTI 1.9 in cash to spare.
Yes.
That's what I would buy. And you know what? That's a reality now.
I'm trying to think of other ones I would just buy off the top of my head. Like literally any Clio.
Oh, dude. Yeah, especially
anyone.
like the almost top spec like performance ones. Like those are so slept on too.
Oh yeah, they had a Clio before they did the Clio Williams. That a 1.9 liter, and it was like a 16 valve with dual carbs.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, get one of those.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's really cool.
I love
and that
the
was in the
2CV.
90s too.
It's too expensive.
It was in like 1992. It was like right before they did the Clio Williams, and they got rid of the carbs and they
The
put
injection systems just couldn't keep up. Like we have.
Well, no,
to do
they
carbs.
could. It's just cheaper because they just
Fair enough.
they put a 16 valve head on the cheap car.
Okay.
On the cheap engine, and they kept all the cheap stuff, but with the good head.
All right.
Like that's
I'm into
cool.
that.
Like yeah, I would totally
Probably
get that.
lighter weight too.
And
so.
honestly, at this point, I think a carburetor would be easier to live with than dealing with like aging electronics and like wiring harnesses that you can't easily find.
Certainly easier
that
to
were
put right.
That were for specific model, because like I'm sure I can find a Renault Clio Williams wiring harness without too much trouble. But like if I was trying to find like a Renault Clio,
135 or whatever they call
yeah,
it.
like a 1.3 GTI or something. It was like a 16 valve with like 4 fuel injectors. They're different injectors in the.
Don't worry, it was
Clio.
only 1
Like,
year only.
It was 1 year only. Like yeah, that would suck to try and find parts for. But yeah, like there's like even existing within America, there are so many other better cars. Like you can get an MI16 405, which is you've not driven Richards.
I have not.
But
that has the same engine.
I
as
found
the
one.
205,
I found one for like $3,500. That was in like good nick and it was black. And I'm like, oh man, I can come up with $3,500.
If I was gonna get a really really hateful sedan, I would still get the
so
Lancia.
No, it's like it is not hateful.
I know it's actually good.
It is extremely good, and it really feels like a Civic Si, but if they made an Accord version of that, like if they made an Accord Si, that's how it feels. And it is just a perfect car.
That's exactly what it is, because all of those got gutted for the engines for 205 GTs.
Yeah, and it's also the most comfy backseat in the world, and it has 8 exhaust ports coming out the back of the head. Yes.
Yeah. That's like the 190E 2.316.
Yes. So anyway, let's move on here. We're gonna go to our final topic here, and then we're gonna move my little topic to next episode because this is taking the whole episode.
Yeah, it's
we're gonna do the hold cars. These are cars where they are not worth buying, and they're not worth selling either. But you're kind of in that limbo area where it's going to be worth more in the future. Mm-hmm. But certainly, like, there's a lot of hype around them, but they're not quite at selling point, and I wouldn't personally invest in one.
We picked very different cars, but for very similar reasons.
I picked the R34 GTR. Okay. All of them. Don't touch them.
Not right now, anyway.
Absolutely fucking not. They're like,
I love that image that's been circulating on the internet. Like R34, it's legal. You can finally afford the worst one in the world.
It's like you can now legally not afford an R34. That's what it was. It's just
that's what it was.
It's every single one is $100,000.
Oh my god!
There's all the hype in the world. Automatic, non-turbo, four doors are still selling for like $20,000.
Oh.
It got a coupe or a 2-door because it looks like an R34 GTR from like 100 feet away is still selling for 40. It's just wacky bullshit.
Like I would buy the sedan personally, but
the sedans you can get the 2.5 turbo sedan. And that's actually a good buy, but that's still hideously expensive. Don't buy that.
I'm not
because like
I
would you've
I have to buy an MR2 Spider, Ryan.
I would, you do. But like the thing is, there's not even for a GTR, there is not a damn thing that R34 GTR does that an R32 or R33 doesn't do. Mm-hmm. They're just way more expensive because of the form factor, and like it's the same driving dynamics. It's actually heavier. It performed worse on a skid pad than a 3000 GT VR4. It was slower than a Supra. It was it braked worse than an NSX. Like
the thing is like, it did technically beat all of them in like a Nürburgring lap overall, but like it's like by like a couple of seconds.
Did they fix the RB26 issues in production by the time those were made?
No.
I didn't think so.
They did fix the exploding brakes that the early R32s had.
Good.
Oh, yeah, that was a problem. They'd build up pressure in the veins and they'd explode if they got wet.
Cool.
Yeah, very cursed problem.
Now
that was very early ones.
Oh, boy.
But like...
Well, I had to be the guy that figured that one out.
I know, right? But no, it was like literally like it was like 6 months of like the first year, and they had to like fix like that, and then they fixed all them backwards and everything. Like they took care of it.
Exploding brakes though, that's a new one.
Yeah. That I didn't know about that until I watched a thing on Top Gear, and then I did some like real digging into it. I go, oh, that was a thing. Weird.
It's amazing that just got kind of shoved under the. Okay, no, it's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's good.
R34s, there was a very brief period of time when I was in 7th grade when I go, this is a really cool car. And then I'm like,
they do look cool.
And then I played Gran Turismo 4. I'm like, whoa, this is the older version of it, and it looks the same, and it has the same power, and it's like
weird.
This is cooler.
The same engine.
The R32 is the one I'd get. Every single one after the R32 I liked less. Like, even as the R32 went on, I liked them less every year, with the exception of the
exploding brakes.
The very last V-Spec 2 wasn't the Nur. What was it? They made N1. That's what it was. They only came in white. They were super stripper models. They were cool. Yeah, they were homologation. Like you would buy it for a spec race.
You had me at homologation.
Yeah, well, they were all homologation, but this one's like a spec race homologation, like for like its own one make race of this is the exact car you get to race. They're very cool.
We made them all white so you can vinyl wrap them.
The N1 is the one you want. The R32 N1. Like, buy that.
It's probably cheaper than an R34.
You could buy an R32 N1 and a base model R34 for the price of what R34 NURs sell for. Which is like the R34 NUR is like the equivalent of the R32 N1.
Okay.
Like, they're so stupid expensive. Like, you could buy...
Why?
I'm pretty sure R34 GTR NUR value. Okay, so R34 NUR is $470,000. You could buy a good Countach for that much money.
$470,000
for specifically the R34 GTR NUR.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I can't think of any car that's even like a stretch goal of mine that I would ever spend that kind of money on.
Like, it's just the V-Spec 2 NUR is just like, that's the poster child of like fucking stupid.
$400,000 for an R34.
Yes.
No.
Yep.
I'm actually going to take a pass on that one.
I will note that is absolutely the rarest one in the world.
Well, sure.
It is the most valuable one. It's the best one. Is it also
midnight purple?
No.
Yeah.
It's actually an incredible color green. You should Google the color of it, or just R34 GTR V-Spec 2 NUR. They only came in that really good green.
Oh, okay. That's like Phoenix yellow almost. That's
yes,
cool.
It's an extremely good green.
God,
and then
that's baby shit
there
vomit
was
hummus.
There was even a rarer version of that called an R-Tune, which I've not seen for sale in the last 20 years. So, like, that is objectively the most valuable, best, quote-unquote, GTR. But, like, and I admit, this looks really fucking cool. This is an extremely cool, extremely good car. But, like, man, $500,000?
No.
I think of the houses you could buy and enjoy your life better in than that. Like, I could buy a very reasonable house in most states in the United States and also an R32.
Uh-huh.
And still have money left over.
Oh, God.
Like, that's just so stupid.
I'm guessing that's not first and foremost on the minds of people shopping for these, but yeah. No, that's definitely something that you and I would consider for sure because a free house.
Yeah, but, like, Or you could buy so. All right, so that's $485,000. Let's just go on branch. I'm gonna type in R32 GTR. And I'm really curious, like how many R32s I could buy. I could buy one car for me and like several of my friends for the price of that. Nissan R32 Skyline. Let's look here.
You could probably buy like 10 really nice R32 GTRs for that.
Let's see here. I could buy. All right, so like a 91 GTR, about $30,000 for 89. Here we go, 89 GTR in gray, just the most generic R32 you could possibly buy. It was $29,000. So let's do 479 divided by 29 and see how many I could buy. Let's see.
Oh my God, that's gonna be 18.
I could buy 16 and a half. So I could buy 16 and then like 5 Civics. I could buy 16 R32s.
Let's just infill with Civics.
Yeah,
on the bottom.
I could buy 16 R32 GTR, just base model, whatever ones, plus 5 EFEG EK Civics. I could have a very good collection of desirable vehicles that bring me more joy than one of these fucking things. Like, it's just, that is the poster child of everything wrong with the R34.
Yeah, 100%. $500,000 is just way too much.
You could probably get a Toyota VM180 Zagato, which is the Zagato version of the ZZW30 for less than that.
I can't imagine those are that expensive. So.
Yeah, they're very divisive looks. So what is your choice?
I picked the E36 Touring, so the wagon.
So we were talking about E36
we were.
just a little bit ago.
We were
and
indeed.
you mentioned a lot of wagons around there.
And I didn't pre-read the notes or anything. This just happened.
No, that's fine.
This just happened to be what it was. So the reason why I'm picking this, and of course the smallest photo in the entire world, doesn't matter. When I imported my E30 wagons were cheap as chips in Europe. You could bring them in cheap.
Bring one of these up on Brand Trailer. You can find them regularly on Brand Trailer.
Instead
of finding it at
E36
by
literally.
181. Yeah, just go to E36, and then you can search the word touring. So it's search.
No, it's just one right here.
Oh, perfect. There you go. Yeah.
Actually, we'll pick the Alpina. Screw it. All right.
Yeah, that's exact. Hey, that's actually the photo you had previously.
Perfect. Anyway, so the reason why I picked these is because these cars are very rapidly going down the same path as the E30 Tourings. When they were first eligible for export, they were cheap everywhere. You could bring them in. You could get a nice manual one, reasonable condition, brought in cheap. Now, E30 wagons, even in Europe, don't exist.
Yeah.
So, like,
they're all here.
They're all everywhere, but now all of them have been done up, and they're all ruthlessly expensive. Right now, E36 Tourings they're in that same spot because they are currently, in my opinion, selling for too much. But they're just not a car you want to move on right now because you're not, like, the future is uncertain.
Yes.
And, like, in a couple of years' time, it's very likely that it would be a mistake to unload, like, one you got in on cheap now.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like, if you bought one, it's like something you really wanted, but now it's just like, yeah, you could just like buy an E30 or E46. You could buy the E30. The thing is, the E36 in my mind is entirely capped by the price of the nearest possible E30 or E46.
Yeah.
And
these are E21 syndrome.
Yeah, these are kind of going down that path. And like, this is objectively the best not M E36 you could possibly get.
All right.
And like 18 is very fair.
Yeah, if it's not rusty or anything, I didn't look at this ad, but it looks like it's in reasonable
But this
condition.
is the thing is, very fair is not like something I'm gonna write home about. Like if I had bought this Commodore right here next to me for like $80 for just this and not all the other shit.
How many pounds of cartridges?
40.
Exactly.
And like, yeah, 40 pounds of software it came with.
Perfect.
If I'd bought it for just this, I'd be like, yeah, that's not anything to write home about. Like, cool, I finally got my Commodore I was looking for. It's not the best one.
Right.
But this one was like $50 for
$500 worth of crap.
And it's complete.
Yeah, I'm going to take this home and play with this tonight. Like, I get to play with my Commodore finally.
And in a couple of years' time, like, original Commodores in that kind of condition at that sort of price probably won't exist.
Yeah, also, this is a pre-cap catastrophe build.
It's
a very early.
There.
It's an early Commodore, so I can literally, I don't have to reform the caps on it. And like, so what this is like, this is the equivalent of if I bought like a later Commodore for like an insane amount of money. I'm like, cool. Now I get to reform the caps. I get to not enjoy it.
That will be the case moving forward.
And that's the thing is like, this is too good of a car for you to enjoy. Like,
but whoever bought that, they did it 2 years ago and they paid $4,000 for it. Like,
yeah. Well, this one sold in November.
I understand, but the person who actually imported this and bought it probably 2 years ago, right when they were import eligible,
they enjoyed it and then they sold it. Yeah.
Exactly, and made a killing. But like,
now you're like, cool.
If you missed the boat, you missed the boat.
Yeah, and it's like, or if you if you bought one of these at high price, like, I wouldn't sell it.
No.
And like the thing is like you're also like we're talking about this uncertain future where it's like, R34 is like, if you own one, you own one. Like because it could go up in value.
You know what the car is, but yeah.
If you bought an R34 a year and a half ago, you got a better deal than you did today. And like I know that Top Rank, like Brian, he's been pre-selling R34s waiting for this for years.
Yeah, we were talking to him last time he was on the show about.
And that was years ago. It was pre-pandemic.
Storage.
Yeah, that was pre-pandemic. That was like 5 years ago, like people paying storage to like for R34s. So like those cars are just insane now. So like right now, if you're buying one of those, you're buying absolute peak price.
Yep.
And they might go up more. They might not. We don't know. And
with imports, your country's market is going to completely change on that car.
And with the E36 like this, like, yeah, this is a very good E36, but you're also dealing with what happens. Also, I just noticed it's automatic.
It's an Alpina. Yep.
Okay, so it's automatic too. So
Alpinas, I think, are all autos on these.
So you're also going to deal with like, okay, cool. What happens the second that somebody makes a M3 clone into on a touring body?
Yep.
Like, this is a car that's very divisive, and you're not going to have a good time selling it or using it or enjoying it or anything.
And we have no idea what the market's going to look like in this country once they're all imported.
Yep. Yeah. It can get flooded. It can also collapse.
Yep. It wouldn't surprise me if these actually drop in price near term.
Yeah, I absolutely think so. Because, it's like Alpina Z8s. Like,
I saw there was one of those active right
now. Alpina Z8s, like, they sold for like a lot of money when Z8s are popular. And there he goes, oh shit, they're automatic? You get a manual one? Oh.
Anyone that defended or still defends the Alpina just because the automatic is a better fit to the suspension, it's like, oh.
I have to search it up there.
Well, I did search it up there. But
and then we have to look up the word Alpina. I know. We're doing our best.
No, there's one active right now.
Yeah,
but look at this. Z8 manual.
110.
110. Alpina Auto.
What?
180. It's because they're rare.
But that's got a red interior.
I know.
This is a black interior.
I know.
This one's better.
I should see. Does this have a coffee table book?
Go back up. Go back to the top. We're very good about noting this stuff. We'll go here, literature. Manufacturer's literature. So it might. So scroll down to the photos.
I should see if the book I have, my spare one, is this car.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, no, that's not something I would purchase with my money.
Yeah.
Would be I would extend that to any Alpina BMW.
It is also, it's okay to miss the boat on a car.
Yeah, no, like fine. There are cars that I badly want that I know I've missed the boat on.
Yep, same.
And like that's fine. Like if I ever find an E86 for $10,000, like the thing is, if you miss the boat, you're accepting that you're not getting the best deal. You're not gonna find the best one. But there's like, I still want an E86 because I am me.
But something else you own also may appreciate, and then you could consider like swapping at that point.
And or like even like, hey, like I got this car because I really love it. Like then buy it. But like if you're buying a car because you're like, I got such a great deal on this, like I'd buy this for $80, my Commodore.
and that's fine. Listen, it's okay to miss
with
the boat.
40 pounds of software.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to miss the boat on it. But it's just like there are times where there are some cars where you really don't want to be in the position that you're in. Like you don't want to buy the Challenger convertible in 2004.
Oh God.
Like you don't want to be the guy that spent $1 million on a 70 Challenger and now has a car that's worth like $400,000 at most.
Correct.
Yeah, like there's missing the boat, and there's like, hey, you're about to jump off a cliff, dude, and that boat's away from your jumping distance.
Imagine getting liquidated on a car.
Yeah, that's the thing is like these cars are like the don't get liquidated. So yeah, there you go. There's our list is don't get liquidated on an E36 wagon, especially an Alpina. Mm-hmm. Don't get liquidated on buying an R34 right now. You missed the boat. Calm down. Go buy an R32. Enjoy yourself. In fact, go buy a dozen and a half R32s with a bunch of Civics to boot, and then you can enjoy yourself as well. And we will see you next time.
Bye, everybody.